The infamous Spanish monarchy is much more like a democracy, more so than any type of monarchy we have studied or observed in the past. As of 1978, the Spanish government adopted a parliamentary monarchy after the Spanish people approved the Constitution of Spain and made it official. Looking at this rather boring yet comprehensive graph of the Spanish government, we see an easily understood layout of how the government functions. Unlike the traditional monarchy, the King of Spain acts more as a handsome symbol of the country rather than an individual with fists of gold that orders his people around daily. On the contrary, the king actually has very little executive power. The king elects officials and stands in on special ceremonies while embracing the title of Commander-in-Chief of the Spanish Armed Forces, much like the President of America. The legislative power is invested in the Costas Generalas, which I know I didn't say correctly, but it's the colonial government. The Supreme Court of Spain covers the judicial branch and is the highest court in the nation, superior on all affairs, much like the esteemed Supreme Court represented again in America. Palacio de Madrid, the Palace of the King. Unfortunately, we will be in Barcelona and will not have the privilege of seeing, but this is where the king lives in Madrid. Unlike democracy, kings cannot be appealed, and royal families hold the throne. Republicanism and monarchies have been fighting for power for centuries within Spain, and in result, they have adopted a mixture of both.
Slide number 5. As the Huffington family was declining, King Charles II gave the throne to the Bourbon family. Point number 2, Charles' dying wish was to hand the throne over to Philip V because Charles did not want to see his family continue reigning. Bullet point number 3, once Ferdinand VII gained control over the throne, Napoleon attempted to take over Spain, consequently by putting his brother in charge. Fourth bullet point, Napoleon gets Ferdinand to abdicate by threatening to kill his loved ones. Slide number 6, bullet point number 1, Napoleon's brother was not favored, ends up getting disposed by the Spanish people, allowing Ferdinand VII to rule again. However, Ferdinand almost lost his power to the Constitution of 1812, which was later suspended by Ferdinand with support from the army. Bullet point number 2, Isabella II, Ferdinand's daughter, had other personal interests rather than doing her duties as Queen of Spain. Bullet point number 3, her scandalous private life, anti-liberalism, and Spain's economic crisis of 1866 led to her disposition. Slide number 7, bullet point number 1, Alfonso takes the throne after the coup d'etat. He restores the monarchy and ends the First Spanish Republic. Bullet point number 2, later his son Alfonso XIII was abdicated from the throne due to his authorization of a military dictator, Francisco Franco. Bullet point number 3, these events led to the return of a Second Spanish Republic. Slide number 8, bullet point 1, with the Second Spanish Republic being abolished and the people in favor of a constitutional monarchy, this allowed Juan Carlos I to gain control with the recommendation of a military dictator, Francisco Franco.
It was a hunting expedition that marked the beginning of the end for King Juan Carlos. A photo of the king circulated Spain of him in front of the elephant that he had shot and killed during this expedition. This trip was estimated to cost $8,700 per week plus $15,000 for the elephant. Ironically, the trip became used only after the king injured his hip and had to be flown back to Spain. A couple days later, his grandson shot himself in the foot. The king's daughter, Princess Christina, was given her Duchess title by her father in 1997. She is the first member of the Spanish monarchy to be put on trial. Christina and her husband are currently being charged with tax fraud. Her husband and his business partner are also being charged with tax evasion and money laundering. King Juan Carlos was very liked in his country until the crash of the economy and these scandals regarding him and his family. Unemployment reached a high of 25%, and his approval ratings fell to 3.8 out of 10. It was reported that the king resigned for personal reasons, but the people of Spain know the cause was political.
King Felipe is the third youngest reigning monarch to ever live. Within the first year of the crown, King Felipe reignited much support for the Spanish monarchy. His current goal is to promote fellowship among Spanish-speaking countries. Prior to being married to King Felipe, Letizia Ortiz was a commoner who worked as a journalist and news anchor. In 2015, Letizia was named Special Ambassador for Nutrition for the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. Princess Cristina, formerly known as Duchess of Palma de Mallorca, was sixth in line for the crown. However, in June of 2014, Cristina was formally charged with tax evasion. Before Cristina, no member of the royal family had ever been criminally charged in Spain. Because of her actions, King Felipe, her brother, felt it was best to strip Cristina of her title.